Boom. And we are live with another episode of the Brown Water Banter podcast. My name is Jared Seymour.
My name is Joey Cates.
That's right. And Joey's sitting in the captain's throne tonight, man. You look like a king or something, man. I dig that chair. If you haven't noticed, we're doing another digital episode. Joey is in an undisclosed location. Are we telling him where you're at?
I'm in Savannah, Georgia, and it's awesome.
Okay.
You need to go to Savannah. Any chance you get to come up here, it's awesome.
All right. Yeah. First time there. Digging it. I've never been.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like a small Nashville and a clean New Orleans. So it's somewhere in the middle of that.
Somewhere. That's a good description. That's got my interest peaked. On the show this evening, man, we have author Adam Smith is going to be talking to us about he does children's books, Christmas themed children's books, and we're going to get into that, how he got it started, how he wrote the stories, the whole nine. But before we do that, we're going to mention our sponsors, the people who support us and we support them. I bet you have a sneaking suspicion of who I'm going to say first here. People that are familiar with the show. Dr. Robbie Williams. That's right. Right over at Southern Magnolia Smiles. If we ever do a trivia question, Joey, I think that's trivia question number one when it comes to the show. What's our first
Dr. Bob for bonus points.
That's right. That's right. Southern Magnolia Smiles, man. If you're looking for a great local dentist, they're located on Washington Avenue in Ocean Springs. Take care of your mouth, man. Get those smiles looking pretty. And oral hygiene. It's the word of the day. Give them a call over at 228-215-1202. Book that appointment. Dude, just start out with a cleaning. Get some x-rays, see what the mouth's looking like. He's a friendly dude. There's nothing to be nervous about. I know some people nervous of the dentist. Joey, are you one of those people?
No, and actually it's more than that. Like the mouthpiece that Robbie has made me has saved my I would say my marriage, because I didn't have it down in Disney and it was bad news.
Yeah, Joey's talking about the if you have sleep apnea, he can make you a mouthpiece that holds your jaw in place as you sleep and tries to help prevent the obstruction that's caused when you have sleep apnea at night. Makes you have a full night's rest versus constantly waking up all night.
Absolutely.
when you don't know it. Moving right along, Hill Tree Marketing, man. Jesse Hill and his team. We're actually about to get back in touch with Jesse again. We got a commercial that we want to get made. Jesse is a one-stop shop, local as well. If you're looking for a website, you need something built for any reason. I mention it all the time. It's not just for small businesses. It is for small businesses, but not just for small businesses, right? If you're a content creator or a photographer, maybe you create things and sell them on Etsy and you want a real professional looking website, Jesse and his team here that he's put together can build it for you, from the IT side of it all the way over to getting professional photographs done. He customizes the whole thing to your brand. We can't say enough good things about him. So jump over to hilltreemarketing.com and take a look at some of the brands that he's worked with. Jump over to brownwaterbanter.com. Check out what he did for us. We couldn't be more satisfied. Joey, this next sponsor. I'll let you take a crack at that one.
Yeah, Old Cedar Swamp. That's Rocky over in Gaucher. Carries everything you need. He's always getting stuff in, getting big Shimano orders in, getting, just anything that you need, you don't have that you can find in the big box stores. He can order them locally. Has a lot of local brands in there. Has Brown Water hats. Has Fishing the South hats. So go see Rocky. Like he's literally, he's got to build up now. Building these in is too small, so he's building up instead of sideways. But go see Rocky. He does a lot of good things. He's got a Christmas tournament coming up too. I'm not sure the exact name of the Christmas tournament, but it benefits all the kids in Jackson County, Harrison County, and stuff like that. So go check it out. That's Cedar Swamp. They're on Facebook and Instagram.
That's right, and they are also located on Gautier Van Cleve exit for the people that are familiar with the area. Just take the exit, head south, or look them up on Facebook. As Joey mentioned, see the number 2 and then Swamp. So check them out. And last and definitely not least, it's our friends over at Taylor and Cox Law Firm, Calvin Taylor and Tyler Cox. If you get in a situation where you need an attorney, man, we highly recommend these guys. They've been on the show. I forget the episode number. It's just a few back. Go check them out. Get to know them. They are located in Pascagoula. Calvin's been practicing law for 30 years. He's going to be transitioning over now to circuit court judge because he just won the election this past November the 8th. Congratulations to him again. But they do criminal law, they do family law, and they do civil litigation defense. So again, if you find yourself in the position where you need an attorney to represent you, why not have a great attorney, and that's local as well? That's Taylor and Cox Law Firm. You can give them a call at 228-696-0111. And we appreciate them being a sponsor of the show. All right, so let's jump into it. I hope my internet's working good. Looks like we got that pesky little
spinning wheel.
Yeah, man, I hate that. But anyway, let's bring Adam in and let's talk about some Christmas stories, man. Adam, how are you doing today?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for being a guest on the show. So let's take it back. We met you. What was the name of the function, Joey? Because I can't remember it. I know it was at that animal.
It was that wild. It was that. It's fixing to come up. It's on its way up. It's called the Wild Acres, and it's something to do with Christmas. I don't know the exact title, but it was a Christmas thing where you guy came in, ate pancakes. They had vendors. You could hold a sloth. You could hold chickens and monkeys and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah,
catch a kangaroo fight while you're at it.
Yeah. They had a lot of animals there. It was on a farm, like Joey mentioned. Tons of wildlife, tons of stuff to do for the kids. And we were a vendor there. And Adam, you were a vendor as well. And we walked by your booth and we were checking out your books. And that's how that's been almost a year ago. We made it. We reached out again, which I'm super glad you did, and have you on the show here tonight. But let's talk about your. I've got two of them, just so people know that I'm not making this up. I got them the day that we were there. The first book is There's a Kid in My Food, and the second book is Angel Blues. So,
hold up. Side note here. I think it all started when Jared's youngest son stole one of your books.
That is true. I forgot about that. Jack, yeah.
Jack
he walked by the table and just grabbed it. Yeah.
Jack came a little 5-figure discount real fast.
Yeah.
We were like, Jack, where did you get that book? He was like, that guy over there gave it to me. He was just giving them out.
Yeah. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's not how that works, but let's go find out. So, but no, so how'd you get your start, man? How did you start writing children's books?
Man, I don't know. It's kind of a long story. So it all started back in probably first grade, but I'm not gonna.
Right. Hey, we got time. It's the internet.
Yeah, no doubt, right? No, I've always kind of enjoyed writing. I've always kind of had an affinity for it. Kind of won some contests, kind of in grade school and stuff like that. My mom actually really encouraged me to write, like all throughout life. It's like, you should write some more. It's like, okay, mom, whatever. And then it's like, getting as I progress and stuff like that. It's like, I like writing songs. I wrote some skits for church and things like that. And I just kind of started wanting to get more serious with it. So how There's a Kid in My Food came along. Actually, the whole book writing thing started with a song, really. So at church, worship director, actually Steve Duncan, who wrote the music for There's a Kid in My Food. I'm trying to get my orientation right.
It's hard. It's very hard.
I know, right? It's all backwards. Actually, Steve Duncan came to us like, hey man, I wrote some songs and I wanted to put a Christmas program together. I wanted to see if maybe you might like write a script or something like that. It's like, yeah, that's a great idea. I'd like to try that. So I started writing out a script for the kids program. And during the course of writing a script, I was like, there's this family scene and there's the family you're talking about, the nativity and Jesus in the manger and how that kind of disrupted things. And then I was thinking, the kid would think, the animals were like really freaked out because there's a kid in their food. I'm like, man, that's a cool idea. So I started sketching out some verses and things like that with the different animals and how they would relate, to that kind of thing. So I started writing out the lyrics for it. I gave it to Steve, and Steve, kind of put the music together with it, and we actually put it in the skit. And the song was really well received. People really liked the song a lot. So, and that was about 12. 30 years ago, something like that. Right. So fast forward, then I kind of want to start getting more serious about like writing, and everybody's talking about how accessible it is to become like an indie author and like self-publish and things like that. I was like, I would like to really explore how to get a book out of your head and into your hands, So I was like, what have I written in the past that could actually work? I was like, there's a Kid in My Food. That was actually pretty cool. And that'd make a really cool kids book. So I kind of started on the journey, and that was probably November of 2019. Actually, it was right before COVID. So I started the journey, started looking into how to do that. And that's a whole kind of perilous thing. I don't know if you want to get into the whole perilous journey or not, but
yeah, actually we do, because
Yeah.
I think it's a cool story. I don't know it. I just think, Joey and I, we've actually got some ideas for ourselves about writing a children's book that we've talked about, and that's the first thing that comes up. It's like, okay, well, where do you start? So
Right.
I know myself, I jumped on Google, start reading, end up on some YouTube videos, and it's like you can definitely learn that way, and I've learned a lot that way. But to talk to someone who's done it, who's went through the pitfalls and has the product that's already out, you have a different perspective than any of us can have just reading about it, right? So I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, by no means am I, do I know everything. I'm still learning something every year, and that's the thing. There's like so many aspects to it, especially if you're like going solo. I mean, because you're doing the formatting, you're doing the editing, you're like coordinating, you're writing it, you're trying to publish it, you're trying to promote it. It's there's so much to it. It can be very daunting.
Correct.
But so I got started. So there's these, so I didn't know how to do it. So, I mean, obviously the power of the internet, you can find somebody to do anything that you need at any time. So there's this category of services called vanity presses. And there's a lot of different vanity presses out there. And basically what they do, there's a bunch of different services, and they basically will supplement anything that you don't feel comfortable doing, or don't, you're not qualified to do, or you just don't do well. I kind of consider them like your book Sherpa. You need to get to the top of the mountain, and then these people are going to help you get there. But with any industry, there's people, that will kind of take advantage. There's some people in some businesses that will look to take advantage of you and things like that.
Right.
And vanity presses are one of those things that you have to be really careful about. And, honestly, I really feel that, I kind of almost fell into one of those pits. But anyway, so I started talking to the vanity press because I really didn't know what I was doing. Really, my biggest thing, I really needed to find an illustrator, because when I was doing my homework on illustrators, man, I mean, there's some firms like you're talking to them and they got a whole stable of artists, and they're like, oh yeah, we'd love to do your book. $20,000-$30,000 to illustrate.
It's not cheap. It is not cheap at all.
No, it's not. So anyway, the vanity press is like, okay, yeah, we can do that. And we've got this list of illustrators, and we'll take you through the whole process. So I was like, negotiate with them. We had many talks on and off and on. They kind of stepped me through the process of what it would take and what you need to do. So we got to the illustrator process, which I was very interested in. So they have this whole menu of author or illustrators, and they were like code names, like, they didn't tell you the name. So,
Right.
But they would give you like, I think there were like flower names like Rose and Daisy and Marigold or whatever. And then they would show you some of their work, like some of the samples of their illustrations. So there's look through this list, and they had the prices and things like that. And there was all sorts of varying prices and things like that in different styles. Well, I kind of narrowed it down to 3 or 4 or whatever. And then, so I narrowed it down. It's like, okay, these are good. And then the lady that I was talking to, kind of my representative, she was saying, okay, so-and-so and so. Oh, and that's Colette. She does really good work. It's like, okay, Colette. So I kind of wrote that name down just in case.
Right.
Yeah. It's not Rosebud, it's Colette.
Yeah.
Right. So I wrote that name down. Anyway, so I progressed, and it was like a couple weeks later, and it was like I was looking at the numbers, and the numbers just didn't add up. And they said, oh yeah, we'll publish your book, and it'll be on Amazon, but it's not going to be on stock in Amazon, and then you're gonna have to price it like this. And it was like I would have to price it like way out of the market for comparable, storybooks and things like that. And the numbers just didn't add up, and I didn't feel very good about it. And I was like an inch from signing the final contract. We had it all done. It was all wrapped up, all the details. I just had to sign the contract and wrap it all up. Couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. So I cut off with the vanity press. And then I was like, oh man, I still don't have an illustrator. What in the world am I going to do? Because I'm effectively not totally back at square one, but kind of back at square one. So I was like, Colette, let's see if I can reach out to her. So I found Colette. It turns out Colette is in Singapore. Magic of the internet. She's a British expat that lives in Singapore. Miracle of the internet, right? Yeah. So I hit her up on Facebook. She's on Facebook, like instant messenger or whatever. I was like, hey, I got your name from so and so. Would you be interested in, you know, publishing or like illustrating my book? And I sent her the manuscript. It's like, yeah, I'd love to do it. It looks great. It's like, okay, great. It's like, how much will it be? It was like, she quoted me the price. It was exact same it was going to be for the Vanity Press. And it was like, it's on. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
with that, but only her feed. So you didn't have to have all the other stuff associated with that company.
no. And then I
Right.
get to retain all the decision making, all the rights, and you know, the freedom to do what I wanted to do with the book. And it was like, it was great.
Like you said, that's the beauty of the internet. It cuts the middleman out. Now you did some. I won't ask you how you did it, but the finding Colette off of one name, that's very impressive.
Some serious Facebook stalking.
Yeah, we're not gonna don't incriminate yourself right now,
Yeah.
but kudos to you for finding her, right? Because that's why they use those flower names so people don't do that.
Yeah, you know, God did me a solid on that one.
Yeah.
Slip it up. You know, no, I was definitely fortunate to come across Colette. She's been great. She's actually illustrated all 3 of the books, so that was really good.
Sweet.
So
Another
Joey,
resource. Let me mention another resource too. The one book that actually really gave me the confidence to go it on my own. Also, I didn't mention it, is there's a book called actually it's called How to Write a Children's Book by Yvonne Jones, and that really
I may have that book sitting right here somewhere, but I ain't gonna be able to find it right now. I think I have that book.
It's a roadmap. It's basically the roadmap how to
Cliff
get
notes.
Yeah, I mean, really, I mean, it's like she shows you the whole thing. I mean, it's a little dated because she has a section in there with CreateSpace, which used to be a really big self-publishing thing that I think Amazon bought. But other than that, it really shows you, okay, step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Blah, blah. I mean, it really gives you the roadmap. And that really, with that and having my Illustrator in hand, I've figured I was confident enough to kind of fill in the rest. So it was very helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, and with well, my computer's beeping here. With a children's book, and again, you got it in the background there, and I can show it, but like illustration is everything. I mean, it's I mean, and she did a great job. I mean, I was looking through it. I mean, that's huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Joey and I, for Brownwater, you mentioned she was in Singapore. Is that what you said?
Right.
Yeah, so we got our logo, which we get complimented on all the time, which I really feel like, you know, speaks to like the South Mississippi, Mississippi Gulf Coast, or the Gulf Coast in general, from a guy that I found on Facebook who lives in Mexico.
Right.
He's not even from here, you know, and it's like he captured everything that we wanted in a logo, and but that's the beauty of the internet.
And probably never even seen a pelican before.
Maybe not. You know, I don't know, but
I think they have pelicans in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
I don't think where he's at specifically.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
They have Mexican coast, but I don't believe he's on the coast. But anyway, so yeah, that's beautiful. So you've got your Illustrator now. You've already got the story, right? And we didn't mention, or at least I didn't though. This is a book. It's a sing along. Is that correct? Like, because it came out of a song.
Yeah.
Right?
So the books in this series are Christmas story sing-alongs. They're stories that you can sing. So and I mean, really, that was kind of the impetus for the first one. I mean, it started out as a song, you know, for a Christmas program, and I just kind of wanted to follow that theme with this series, so it kind of stuck.
I like it. So where do you go? You got the Illustrator now, and you got the story.
Man, so then you're off to the races to try to, you know, to figure out how to get, you know, a published book in your hands. So the biggest issue up front, because I already had the manuscript written for there's Kid in My Food.
So got it now.
So I already kind of had that. So I was able to kind of focus on number 1, getting the song produced, and then, you know, number 2, working with the illustrator to make sure that was right. So basically you kind of set up. So when I'm the illustrator part really is the thing that really takes the longest amount of time. So I talked to Colette. I kind of like take my ideas, what I have in my head. I like work up a document. It's like, okay, here's the first, when they call them spreads, you know, it's like a 2-page spread for the books. It's like, you know, your one picture takes up two pages. Right. So here's the first spread. I'm going to have this text. I need these people on it, and I need to, you know, they need to do these things, or like they're saying these things, or here's the action that we need to do. So then you just kind of, you know, write that out for the whole book, and then you send it to the illustrator. And then what's fun is then you get to see it's like a complex game of Pictionary. It's like you gave her all the clues. Let's see what she draws now, you know?
Right.
So, and that's like really thrilling with like when you first get the first sketches of an illustrator that sees it in your head and what you communicated. That's a really special thing. So I remember getting the first sketches back from Colette, and it was like, I'm like giddy, like on, Christmas morning or something like that. It was really cool to see it, come to life. But yeah, then you just kind of go back and forth. And the way that I did it with Colette, there was like three phases. So there was the sketch phase. So she, maps up all the sketches, and then you get them how you like. And then once you've kind of worked out all the details, then she goes to the outline phase where she kind of takes blacks it all in, just kind of, black lines it and cleans it all up. And then she would do the full color in phase 3. And that was basically the final images that she got.
Explain to us the legal bounds on these. Like, you're giving all your ideas to somebody who's in Singapore. Like, what stops them from taking your idea and running with it and making it their own? I mean, what are you copyrighted? How does that work?
Yeah, so we negotiate a contract up front. So basically, you can do it multiple ways. I mean, obviously, there's 1,000 different ways, that you can do compensation and contracts and things like that.
Right.
I personally, I'm ridiculously paranoid at this point. So I kind of I went to a lawyer, and actually Estes and Sims and Estes. Forgive me, guys, if they're watching. I don't know who's first, but anyway, they did me a solid. He wrote me up a contract that I've been using ever since, especially with the music, the music agreements and things like that. But it's kind of flexible that I can use it for pretty much anything. But I negotiated with Colette. Basically, I pay her flat fee for the illustrations. And then I own the illustrations out, full out, but she retains the right of authorship. So I can't claim that I drew it, but drawings are mine. And then I give her credit for doing those kinds of things.
Yeah.
On the book. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's cool, man. And kudos to you too, for, even though it was your first run at this, for understanding the margins and the business dynamics on the back end. Right. Because sometimes artists get so excited, I talk to a lot of musicians, and it's like your dream come true. If you're a musician to get a record deal, or a author, to get a publishing deal, which again, the internet has changed so much, you can do it yourself now. Right. But like, they don't think of that. They just, I'll sign anywhere to get this CD made or this book done so I can see it come to fruition. But then you lose all the economics on the back.
They don't own it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's a big deal. I mean, find people that you can trust and talk to about the stuff before you make rash decisions. Right. I know that's easier said than done a lot of times, especially younger guys. I mean, I'm glad I did it at the age that I am, because I can step back and chill for a second. And it's like, wait a minute. I mean, it's even tough for me. It was like, because I want to show everybody this thing right now. Right. And that's really not how it should go. But yeah, it really takes some discipline, because once you got it, something that you love and you're excited about, you really want to share it with everybody, even though you got to wait and make sure it's safe to share it with everybody.
It's got to be ready. Yeah. What I love how you said that you took the idea from a song, but the perspective, the idea at the beginning of it is the perspective of the child, which in this case is the savior, right? Is Jesus in the story. Is that correct?
Right. Well, when the skit, there was like a family talking about the nativity, but yeah, all of my books revolve around the nativity. And that's kind of, I'm taking a different aspect. Like for Kid in My Food, cow and sheep are having a really bad day. So all they want to do is like go to the manger and have a snack, but they go back and they find a kid in their food and they're kind of upset about it. So they're talking to the innkeeper.
Jesus is in my food.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So fortunately, Donkey comes along and he actually understands, what's going on and kind of explains it. So it kind of turns what I say, on the back of the cover, it's like it turns a bad day into a glad day. So, it kind of straightens it all out.
Right.
But and then Angel Blues is kind of my middle child. It's getting the treatment. Like, this is my firstborn and this is the new one. And then the Angel Blues is not shown here, but I really love that one too, because actually that one, the production of Angel Blues, I learned so much from Kid in My Food that Angel Blues kind of like clicked along really well.
Yeah. And that's really the one Jack stole.
What's that?
That's the one Jack stole. Yeah, he stole that one.
The kids got to have it.
Yeah.
No, but if you haven't checked out the song too, this is my bluesy song, you know. So and that's really good. But Angel has a problem because every time he tries to relay the message that Jesus is born, everybody runs away. It's kind of the whole play on the whole fear not thing.
Right.
So a prayer for help helps him change his approach, and a spoiler alert, he makes it happen. So that's good.
Yeah. Well,
And-
you obviously got a big background in church. What church are you involved with?
We're at Good Shepherd actually in Long Beach.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where
Or
y'all
Long
do
Beach
you
or
worship in?
Pastor Stan. It's right on SB, like on the border. I don't know exactly which one it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where at that. I grew up, down here in Gulfport. My dad was a pastor, so I grew up a preacher's kid. I've led worship, for a while in different places. So yeah, it's in me, no doubt.
Yeah.
You said that your newest one, is it say Time to Glow? Am I reading that? It's a little bit of a glare on
Yeah,
there.
so that's time to glow. Yeah.
Was
so
that
that's
out when we met you about this time last year?
No, that one I released this year. So I'm
Okay.
kind of on a pace like one a year. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah, that was going to be my question, was what's the plan? Like, kind of one a year tempo.
Mhm.
Are you releasing them at this time? Like, in other words, closer to Christmas, or when do they hit the hit? And also other question, where are you selling them at? Right? Are you putting them out
Yeah.
on Amazon, stuff like that?
Yeah. So Time to Glow was released this year. Generally, I usually get them published to Amazon. You can find all of them on Amazon.com. Kidding. I still haven't got the orientation right. Kidinmyfood.com. There you go. Yeah, you can go to kidinmyfood.com, and that's my website. You can link to Amazon to purchase the book, and it links you to the songs are on your favorite streaming service as well. So you can link there, and you can listen to it on Alexa or Spotify, Tidal. It's out there on your favorite streaming services too.
Yeah. They're all paperbacks, right? All 3 paperbacks.
Yes.
How do you sell? You sell them hardbacks? Do you sell them in video copy? I mean, what are you offering?
Good question, because they are kids books, and I get asked all the time, do you have this in a hardback? And like, no, I don't, because Amazon actually in their self-publishing wing, they just recently started doing hardbacks and only in certain formats. So and Amazon doesn't have my format for these books yet. It's an 8.5 by 8.5 in a hardback yet. However, I think Ingram Spark does, and I'm in the process of uploading them to Ingram Spark, so I can play both. Because I mean, if you look at it, Amazon.com has like, I think the last time I looked was like 70% of book sales, like nationwide. 70%. That's the whole market, and then 25% are your other major booksellers in that 25%, like your Barnes and Noble, your Books A Million, and everything else. So, but Ingram Spark kind of serves the 25% for published books, and then Amazon is kind of they lean more on ebook sales. But sorry, I don't want to geek out on.
No, geek out. Yeah, I'm with you.
I think we forget that Amazon used to be a book company to begin with.
That's how they started out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And nobody could
and ratchet straps. And
but if you remember, like, no one could believe, like, the news story was like, can you believe Amazon put Barnes and Noble in these bookstores like almost out of business? And it's like, flash forward 10 more years, it's like they put everybody almost out of business, right? And the ones that survive were just the big guys. And then even now, like, you look at Walmart, and Walmart's like, we can be Amazon too. We'll send it to your house. We'll bring 2-day delivery, whatever you want. Just don't not shop with us anymore.
Yeah.
Walmart, sorry, not to get off on Walmart. Walmart was very smart to pivot when they did, and they actually did really well with that.
They had to.
Yeah, they had to. They had to.
So Toys R Us didn't, and we don't really see many of them anymore.
Actually, they were making a comeback. Like, did you see that? They were like putting a little store in like a Macy's or something?
Yes. Yeah. Inside of a Macy's. It's smart. It's very smart. And they have brand recognition, right? You can, I'm almost 40 and I can walk and see that name and know exactly what it is and feel like you're a kid again. So
you want to be a Toys R Us kid.
Correct. Still am a Toys R Us kid. You know what I mean?
We're all Toys R Us kids on the inside.
Yeah. My kids sing it and they've never been to a Toys R Us. But they still sing
it. It is a travesty. It's definitely a travesty.
Adam's smart. He knows you sync up a song to an idea, right? And it sticks in your head. I think that's really cool how you have that. What is the word I'm looking for? Like it's interactive, your book, with being able to scan it and then get the song and either sing along or read the story, then sing along. Like that's a pretty cool dimension that not every book has.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like as a kid, like having these books with like, did you ever get like one of those books like with a record in the back of it that you could like
Yeah,
Yes.
tear it out of the book and
it's a
like
little
put
bitty
it on
one.
your
Yeah.
little record player? You know,
Yes.
you didn't really sound really bad. You know, that kind of
You're
thing?
showing our age a little bit, but yeah,
You
so
know, it's like,
kids go. I mean, we have a older audience, but you know, if you haven't heard of a record, go look that up. And what vinyl is a whole different ballgame.
Round disc. Yeah.
yeah, it's just,
Before
we're just kinda,
CDs.
it's just the same idea. We're just kind of repackaging it for today. So now you can stream everything. So I mean, again, doing this stuff is easier than ever. But you just got to make sure you do your homework first and make sure you're on the right path. And, you know, and again, like we talked about before, you know, protect yourself.
Yeah.
What you said you have your music book with the music? Like, is there a way to get the ebook?
Yeah.
With
So
the
the
music?
ebook. So my books are published ebook and paper. Well, you can do print on demand at Amazon. So both formats are available. I mean, there's not a whole lot of big, you know, there's not a lot of market for children's ebooks because they're not
Right.
really looking at ebooks. They usually want a physical book.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, there's still page reads and stuff like that you get. So people consume, you know, media in different ways, you know, and that's really showing.
Yeah. You're obviously sounds to me like predominantly a one-man band, right? And so my question is then, so you know, we talked about how you got started, where the idea comes from, meeting the illustrator, but now books in hand, that's really where a lot of the work begins, right? Is
Yeah.
getting it
For sure.
out. And kudos to you for being on podcasts such as ours, and we appreciate it. And we mentioned the other interview. You did another interview just a couple days ago, right? Trying to get the word out.
Yeah, Chad Brown. He's actually the art teacher at Gulfport High School. So actually,
Awesome.
our kids went to the same preschool for a while. You know, so we became friends and things like that. But he's a very talented guy. Working in the community and teaching the kids. And he's got the Art Project. The Art Project is his on YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel out there. So yeah,
Okay.
you should definitely look him out. He's doing a lot of good work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my question is books in hand, you know, how are you getting the message out there other than what we're doing here
Yeah.
tonight? Because that's the fight, that's the battle. And I know from what I've looked into for a number of different things, when, you know, selling on Amazon, you said what, 75% of the market share when it comes to books. But the
Yeah.
problem is that you don't get to meet your consumer or your
Right.
customer, right?
Right.
There's a barrier there that Amazon protects, just like they were trying to protect Colette, right? Because they
Right.
know they want
Right.
everybody to go to Amazon first. Do you sell direct to your consumers at kidinmyfood.com? I think you said it links to Amazon though, right?
Yeah, so I'm not like doing direct distribution, like mail distribution.
Correct.
So when you do publish your book, especially just because I know about Amazon, I think most publishers will do this, but you can buy what you call author copies. So you're effectively buying books from the printer at cost, and those are
Right.
and those are copies that you can sell, you know, wherever you need to sell them from.
Mhm.
And that right there is really for the author is where you make the most bang for your buck when it comes to commission, because you're taking the author piece and the publisher piece, and the only piece you're not getting is the printer piece. So yeah, I do try. Again, this is not my 9 to 5. So between, you know, working my regular 9 to 5, being a dad, being a husband, being a soccer coach, driving the daughter to dance, there's not a whole lot of time right now because I got a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. There's
Right.
not a lot of free time, you know, to do this. So I really have to pick and choose, especially you kind of referenced like the marketing of the thing, you know, in my spare time. But one of the big events that we did, actually, we just did it a couple weekends ago, was the Ron Myers Christmas event,
Yeah.
the Christmas City Gift Show. And that's a great event. We actually sold out at the Christmas gift show, and that was like phenomenal. Thank you everybody. thank you so much. But that was, and as far as like getting out, that's probably my biggest event of the year. I usually try to do an event like at Miners Toys in Ocean Springs.
Those Springs, yeah.
Yes, Miss Marilee has been very kind to let me go out there like a Saturday and set up a table and sell some books, and a couple of different events, you know, throughout the year where I can. So that, but the marketing thing, that's an aspect. I love it. It's like you can only choose one thing to like chase the rabbit down the hole a year. And this year I'm kind of doing a marketing, chasing that rabbit down the marketing hole a little bit. Because Amazon, again, I'm going back to Amazon again for marketing, because last year with Angel Blues, I did Facebook. And I'm going to try to come back to Amazon this year. So actually I got three different campaigns out there running right now for a 2-week span. So I was going to try to do a little bit before Black Friday, over the Black Friday weekend, and then the week after Black Friday to see how that does. And you can spend as much or as little, as you want. So I kind of like took my marketing budget and kind of calculated out to spread it over the 2 weeks, and just to see, because I'll geek out about this. Stop me when it gets too much. But I mean,
rock and roll.
Yeah. So there was a really good tutorial that let me back up for a second. So I got a really good tutorial. One of the things that you can do also, for children's books, I joined the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. It's a national organization that specializes in the market for children's books for authors and illustrators. So they've already done a whole lot of market research, and basically it behooves them to relay this information, because that's what they do. They try to get the best information to the authors and illustrators that they can. So I mean, it's real cheap. It's like $100 a year or something like that, and they get you access to all sorts of really good market research. Leads to like different publishers if you want to try to go traditionally published and things like that. Mm-hmm. So that's a really great resource. They actually put me onto a tutorial online to teach you how to do Amazon marketing ads. So I went through that tutorial a couple of different times and like took the recommendations and then followed that and then set up some campaigns specialized. Like you can get all sorts of information out of Amazon, but I'm not going to go down there. But yeah, mm-hmm. So you can get all sorts of information. You set up your campaigns for the keywords, and then really in the background, there's a bidding war every time. Yep. Every time you search something in Amazon, there's a bidding war in the background for what display is going to be in front of you when you get to the search results. And so you can trigger that on different search terms, and then you said, okay, well, I'm going to pay 42 cents. That's my bid for this. And if it comes up and you're the high bidder, it's going to place your ad. Then you get all sorts of information. It's like, did they click the ad? Did they click the ad and then actually make a purchase? How much did they spend? Those kinds of things. So really good information about who's searching what and what is really popular out there. So apparently, because I was like doing my research, and there's a book that I'd never heard of, but it's like the most common search thing that ends up linking to a click to my book. It's like Christmas by the Book. I don't know. It's like a very popular book out there right now, but they put my ad in front of a lot of people searching for that, and it seems to get a lot of click-throughs. So, It's just interesting tidbits of information.
Yeah, there's probably an audience for that book, right? Maybe it's a well-known or more known author or something, and it's great to have you associated with that. Everything you just described, Facebook does as well, right? And I've messed with that a little bit, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. Mm-hmm. It's definitely where art meets science, math, and business, right? And that junction there, it's like, hey, I just wanted to write books. Like I got to learn all this stuff too, but it's part of it. So
and I'm an IT guy by trade. And so everything is technology. And, I love the art. Honestly, it's like you were talking about your logo, for a stint, in another life, I designed logos for a little while. So I love the marketing aspect of it. And how are you putting, the whole branding aspect? It's like the whole journey to books for me. I can just sink my teeth into pretty much every aspect of it. And that's why it's, kind of difficult sometimes to stay on task.
Well, and for people that are listening to this, it's like we do a lot of topics on this show, but this to me fits right in with a specific topic is I love talking to people that enjoy whatever it is that they do. And you said you've got a 9 to 5, and that's great, but you can definitely hear the passion in your voice about children's book. And for people that are listening, it's like when you find that thing in your life, you do want to geek out on it, and you want to know a hunter, right, Joey? Like you want to know everything about the rifle, the scope, the camo, the scents, the time of year. You just want to know everything, and that to me is what's fun about living, right?
Yeah, it was like a couple of weeks ago. I think you had the oyster guy on.
Yeah, Mark.
Oh yeah, that's his life, man.
Yeah, and he was totally geeking about oyster stuff, and I was right there with him. It was like, you can do that. They do that. The salinity is whatever parts or whatever. Like
Yeah. And that's funny you say that, because even sometimes if I don't necessarily, whether I'm listening to something else, consuming some other content, I may not like what you're talking about. Definitely maybe not as much as you do, but listening to you talk about it because you like it that much, then I'm interested. Because you
fired me up.
yeah, how far is this guy going to take it? Like, where's he
Right.
going? Like, let's
Mhm.
go. And then I'm like, okay, I wouldn't have done that, but I like that you did, you know?
Yep,
It's killer.
absolutely.
It's killer. What else do we need to cover, man? We mentioned the website, right? Kidinmyfood.com, right?
Kidinmyfood.com, right?
And
you
that
got
was a
any?
loaded,
You got any more shops coming up? You got any more venues that you're selling books locally?
I don't have any more events planned right now. Yeah, please sign up. I'm also on Facebook, at Kid My Food. You can, or / Kid My Food, at Kid My Food. You can find me there. Actually, if you link to the website, you can link to my, all the social media places that I have. Also sign up for the email list. You can do that as well. Kidmyfood.com. Yeah.
yeah, your Facebook
because
page
we sold out
reads,
the books, usually, because the local Barnes & Noble has been very good to me too in past years. Usually I'll like stock books there, but because we sold out at the Christmas show, I didn't have any. And that's another aspect of it we didn't really talk about, but I only have so much money to put toward the business, and then buying all the books up front is not cheap, because I got to buy all those books, and then there's that whole risk of, am I going to sell all these books? And
We've been there, yeah.
hey, I got a garage full of hats and shirts,
brown water shirts and
Yeah,
hats and everything else.
Hey, we totally understand everything you're talking about there. You got to flip it. How long am I going to be sitting on this inventory with my money tied up into it? Yeah, it's a business.
It's things you got to calculate. So yeah, I mean, we were definitely blessed to sell out at the show. So I didn't really have any stock to put at the local Barnes & Noble. I did make another purchase right after the show though, so I've got another, I don't know, 60, 70 books come in. I'm hoping to be able to offload those before Christmas comes up. But I mean, even if we don't sell them, we can flip them the next year, hopefully, God willing. So
yeah,
right.
It's not too much of a problem there.
So the best way to find your book right now, if I got to have it before Christmas, is Amazon.
Amazon.com, absolutely. Or kidmyfood.com, you can link to Amazon.com right there. Most of the information you can find.
Yeah, that was a loaded question earlier, because I knew buying it direct from you always leaves the artist or the author with more money. And if you can, people do that. Sounds like you did great at that event, so that's always good. But the way to get it now for the holidays and for Christmas is kidinmyfood.com, or just type it in on Amazon. Check out all three of your books.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to check out.
You'll get it right in another.
I know.
A few more. Yeah.
Again, we didn't really get a chance to talk to Tom about.
Yeah. I was going to ask you that.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no. So yeah, just the rundown of Time to Glow.
Just do this. Wait, hold on. You can't get it wrong.
I'm giving up. I'll never be a weatherman. That's one thing.
That's right.
Yeah. No, Time to Glow. So Star is kind of feeling small and insignificant and doesn't really know if it's going to amount to much. But spoiler alert, it finds out that it's destined to become the Christmas star. So then that's how it plays a role in the whole nativity. I kind of call the style of the song. So Kid My Food is my country song. Angel Blues is my bluesy song. I call this one like my Disney princess ballad. But the song turned out phenomenal.
I thought you was gonna say you're rock star.
No.
Maybe that's the next one. That's the next one.
No, I think Wiseman. I want Wiseman to be the next one, but I mean, really, you write what the muse gives you at the time. So I got 2 ideas. I got at least 2 more. I got 2 more ideas in the chamber.
We need a heavy metal. We need a heavy metal Christmas.
Heavy metal Christmas. That would be awesome.
Yes.
I don't know how the kids are gonna. You got to sell to the kids and the moms. I don't know how the moms.
Right. You're right.
Yeah. Hey, we're just pitching ideas. We're not saying they're good.
I take them all, man. I've thought about it all. It's like actually in Time to Glow, Comet. You got to look at the Comet in Time to Glow, because I was gonna. Do I take it out? But Comet is like a motorcycle guy. He's got like tats. He's got like tats and stuff like that, and a nose ring. I was like, is this too much? Look, he was so cool though. I just left him in the book. There you go. You got to check out Comet. He's pretty cool.
I love it, man. That's cool.
I forgot where I was going with that.
But, the storyline for Time to Glow, he figures out in the end he's destined to be the Christmas Christmas star.
Yeah, and that's how Star plays a whole role in Nativity. So yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, that's killer that it's all based around different aspects of the Nativity, because you can take that. I mean, there's a lot of material there, right? Like you say.
Yeah. Oh, that's where I was going. Yeah. The Wise Men. I think either the Wise Men or the Innkeeper. I had an innkeeper. Actually, a friend of mine is like, you should do something with the innkeeper. It's like, that's a pretty good idea. So it kind of depends on which way you're going to go. The Wise Men, though, and again, I don't know, a little teaser, I guess.
Yeah.
Where I'm going with it right now is like, the whole we don't talk about Bruno type song with the magical and things like that. I want to do that kind of, but a Middle Eastern flavor instead of Hispanic flavor.
Right.
Like how because it's written as a magical and you fit all the lines and they like talk on top of one another. So if I can get some kind of hip hop Middle Eastern magical thing going on, that's what
There you go.
If you can get anything to Don't Talk About Bruno's song, you'd be doing well, because they sing through my house every day.
Yeah. No, the soundtrack to that was really catchy. It was really catchy.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Then you take your compilation of all the books that you have at the time, you make a soundtrack. Then we have musicals, production. We go on the road, right? We have dancers, pyrotechnics. It's a whole thing.
One thing at a time, man.
Right. Christmas greatest hits.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, Adam, man, thank you for your time this evening. Thank you for jumping on here with us. Big fan of what you're doing. I love it, man. If anybody you're hearing this and you're looking for some Christmas ideas for kids and that are based in the religion, man. I mean, I think that's a great thing. Something that's lacking a lot nowadays, right? For kids. Tells good, wholesome stories, man. So go check them out.
Yeah, I heard that a lot at the show. It's like, it's a series based around the nativity. It's what Christmas is all about.
Right.
It's about, how creation, interacting with its creator. And it's a great story. And you got to have it in you. And to relay this to the kids, if we can, if we can relay that message to the kids early, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And make it fun. And make it fun.
Absolutely.
Yep. Kidinmyfood.com, and there's a Kid in My Food on Facebook. That's what I typed in. It came right up. So go check them out. Adam, thanks so much, man. And we'll see you hopefully at another event.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, guys.
All right. Absolutely. Have a good evening. All right. That one was good, Joey.
Cool.
What we don't have anybody, I don't think yet. We got a couple people in the queue that we need to talk to, but we don't have anything set up yet, right?
Not for next week. No, we'll let the Thanksgiving go through, and then we'll figure out next week. I know you're on call most of next week, so
yeah, it's pretty. It's
figure
pretty
out
brutal.
an empty date.
Yeah. Everybody, I'd like to say first, like, happy Thanksgiving this week. Enjoy that time definitely with your family. I know we will be. If you haven't already downloaded the Brownwater app, man, you got to check it out. We're super proud of it. Links to all the stuff, right, Joey? Tides, Tails and Scales, radar,
hunting times, everything.
Yep. All your bag limits right inside the app, all of our social stuff. And when you download it, if you could allow the notifications on it, we'd appreciate it. We don't spam you with notifications, but when we do have some cool stuff going on in the Brownwater universe, we're
going to text you.
Excuse me. It's an easy way to get a direct contact with you versus having to go through like the Facebook algorithm where we can put stuff out and you'll never see it. So either that, do that. And then also hopefully y'all are digging the radio station. That is we're going to get it up to where it needs to be. Right now it's the beta version. If you
have any requests, send them in and we'll put them on there.
Yep, for sure. Oh, and that's one thing I haven't even told you, Joey. I got one of the guys that we're playing, local guy, Sam Donald, and a buddy of his who I know, Jeff. They're going to come on the show, and we're just going to talk music, country music, and maybe bourbon and a couple other topics. But we're actively spinning his music right now, and it's really cool. And he's local, so be on the lookout for that episode for sure.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your time there in Savannah, and have a safe trip back.
We'll be back home tomorrow. We're back to the SIP tomorrow.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we'll see y'all on the next one.